Hello everyone, welcome back to the show and thank you so much for all the love you guys have been giving to Green Tea with Ashish. Today I'm gonna do something different. I'm going to meet one of the startups who have gotten into the cohort of Techstars, and I'm gonna go and meet their team and talk to the founder. Let's go!
We started Rose Bazaar on February 14th of 2019 and we hit the ground running. By we, I mean Yashoda and Ria Kaltu. That's a picture of us from about 2002, so you can see that we've been at this for a really long time. Floriculture has been a part of our life for as long as we can remember. So it always made a lot of sense to us that when we grew up, we would do something in the flower industry.
My name is Geeta. I'm working as manager for Rose Bazaar. I'm Prashant. I work for Rose Bazaar as a logistics manager.
My name is Ishanya and I do the marketing for Rose Bazaar.
Hi, my name is Karthik, working with Rose Bazaar as a logistic and purchasing manager.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಅಂಜಾಶಿ. ನಾವು ಹೂವು ಕಟ್ಟೋದು, ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ನಾನು ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಡೆಕೋರೇಷನ್ ರೋಸ್ ಬಜಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
My name is Rajeshwar. I'm working in Rose Bazaar as a delivery boy.
Our model is all about disrupting this industry by bringing together the old and the new. So that means we bring the technology and the disruption, but that we also partner with local puja ladies who've been in this industry for decades and upgrade what they can do and empower them to do more. So that's our little sneak peek of the people behind the box.
So, congratulations, guys, on getting into Techstars. Very interesting product, very different product. We all knew that it's a problem, but never thought there will be a startup around it. So you guys thought it through. So just want to hear how have been the journey till now in Techstars, and what you guys are doing after getting into it.
Yeah, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So Techstars started about 2 weeks back, so it hasn't been too long, but it has been really amazing since then. We're meeting a lot of different kinds of people. I mean, talking out about our strategy also helps us a lot internally. A lot of nice workshops that kind of help you streamline what you're trying to do with your business. So it has been really nice. And we're about a year old now, Rose Bazaar. So we're like ending our year with Techstars starting. So that's been really exciting.
Yeah, and you're surrounded by this amazing cohort who are all working on amazing projects as well. So you learn a lot from your peers as well, just sitting with them. And it gives you that distance to step back from everyday operations and look at the bird's eye view, which is always really helpful for founders to do.
Right. I think it helps a lot when you see different founders coming from different industries and trying to solve problem differently, and you get a different vision altogether. So great. I think three most important things you want to tell for the founders who might be applying for the next batch. Your experience when you applied and what happened after that. So key steps which they should keep in mind.
So one thing I think that was really important for both of us to realize as well is that when you're building something that you're really passionate about, you really want to talk about it, right? You always want to talk about how you're solving the problem.
Right.
One thing that we found to be really important is talk about why you are equipped to solve that particular problem. And this is something that a lot of mentors have told us as well, that founder market fit is super important, because if you can convince someone that, hey, this is a problem and this is why I can solve this problem and this is why I'm so passionate about it, it gives them your why. And then they're like, this is a smart individual who's super passionate, and whatever hurdles are in their way, they'll figure those hurdles out. So I think it creates that comfort level. It was something that we had to learn as well, and I think it really helped us in Techstars. So that's probably...
Yeah, and well, I guess another one is being really open to what you can get out of the program. I mean, definitely we had goals set in on what we wanted from the program, which is also really important. So I guess that's two that I'm talking about. Figuring out what you want from the program initially helps you a lot once you get started, but also being open to feedback and what the different mentors have to say and your cohort has to say as well. Because you're going in with a certain kind of view of your product, your business, your problems, and then you reach there and there's so many different people, as you said, doing very innovative things, and there's so much to learn. Just being open to feedback really helps you move forward in this journey. We've seen it week on week or like day on day, where there's a lot of extra, like new things that we're thinking about or innovative ways to solve the same problems, because you're just watching other people do it in different ways or asking you the right questions.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing those insights with us. Rose Bazaar is a subscription-based service for daily puja need of a flower, right? Did I get it right? Yeah, so fascinating, very different idea. How did this idea come to you? So, what was the problem you guys faced, or how did this click to you at the end of the day? That's like it's very important to have faced that problem and understand that where that problem is coming from. So just share that with us, please.
Yeah, sure. So actually, we've been in the flower industry our entire lives. Our dad had started a rose export farm when I was born. Literally, we're sisters, by the way, if we haven't mentioned that. Uh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we were involved in this floriculture industry or the flower industry our entire lives, and we were doing work in that in general. But I mean, one day I was just doing some work and thinking about the retail flower space, and my mom was doing puja like around near where I was working, and that's when it really hit me that most Indians don't interact with flowers in terms of gifting. Gifting is such a small segment. Our day-to-day interaction with flowers is mostly with these traditional flowers in the experience of a puja. And there's not much or like nothing at all that's been done in this industry over the last 10 to 20 years. It's very fragmented. Most times customers are paying the highest price for the lowest quality flowers. So there's a lot of things within the supply chain that needed fixing for the customer to have that beautiful mindful experience during their puja, and that's when we kind of got the idea to get started on this.
Oh, that's great. I think you mentioned supply chain while you were telling us about Rose Bazaar. So, how did you figure out? So, I understand that you have been in this industry, so you have been seeing your father work around it and stuff. But how are you solving those problems, and what are those problems? So, if you can throw some light on that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so
yeah, so I think one thing that we learned, like looking at the cut flower industry, which is what our father works in, is that the supply chain is so well set up. You grade the flowers at the farm, and then you send it to the auction, and then whether it's exported or sold locally, if you log on online right now, you can know the stem price of like a red rose. You can be like 12 inches. This is what the price is going to be. And we saw that kind of happen through our lifetime, and we saw that happening in Bangalore especially. But if you look at it, the puja flower, the traditional flower market, that kind of price transparency doesn't exist at all. So for us, it was a lot of learning, seeing the two different supply chains, and seeing what is different in the puja supply chain and what can we kind of import from this one to the puja supply chain that would make it more efficient.
Right.
So you want to talk about the market?
yeah, just to kind of run you through how the supply chain works right now. Usually, there's a local farmer who takes the flowers after harvesting to like a local market. Over there, he sells it to the shops there or the wholesalers. Those wholesalers then sell to other wholesalers who take it to markets in cities. Over there, it's again sold. And, there are about 3, 4 levels of handling if you're lucky. And then the local lady who buys the flowers, local lady or man, and then they deliver to the customer's doorstep. So by the time you receive your flowers, as I said, you're paying the highest price for the worst quality possible. And there are multiple levels of handling. And it is a perishable product. A lot of these flowers don't last more than 3 or 4 days. If you're lucky, a few last for 7 days. But if you're already losing so much time in the supply chain, by the time you get your flowers, they're not that good quality at all. So that's where we came in and we're like, how can we solve this specific problem? So we started tying up with farmers directly and then supplying to the customer's doorstep. So a supply chain that's usually was taking at least 36 to 48 hours, we were able to cut it down to a 24-hour turnaround time from the time of harvest. So our flowers are harvested by our partner farmers in the morning, and we deliver those same flowers to our customers either that evening or the next day morning. So when you are selling your flowers, they're the freshest that they could be, and all these levels of handling are kind of cut down. So you're getting it at very affordable prices and obviously the best quality possible.
Right. And I think you guys are the best example of being in the family business, seeing your parents to working around it, and then at the end of the day, applying technology to it and taking it to the market, understanding the supply chain the best. Uh, uh, it, it is a subscription based model, right? So how does it work? Can you throw some light on that?
The way our product works is that you subscribe once at the beginning of the month, choose the quantity, the frequency, the type of flower that you want, and then every day in the morning we deliver a box to your house giving you farm fresh flowers. So subscribe today at rosebazaar.in.
The same way you get your milk or newspaper delivery every day, our idea was how can you get your flowers every day without thinking about the hassles of how it's going to get to your house. So once you get it, you literally just enjoy the flowers and have a great experience with them. So what our customers usually do is they pay at the beginning of the month, and then there are about 50 different kinds of subscription boxes that you can go for, which are available on our website. And then they customize the kind of flowers they want. They pick the frequency. Most customers tend to go for a day delivery or on alternate days. And that's all. And then they don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month. And every morning we deliver fresh flowers to their house.
That's great. You mentioned that you have been in business for last 1 year. So, I want to understand that how big the market is. Where are you currently delivering, and where are you available, and what are your plans going ahead to expand? Like, what all cities you are targeting in 2020, let's say 2021?
Yeah. So we're right now in Bangalore and Pune. Bangalore is our home base. We also expanded to Pune towards the latter part of last year, which has been great. So we are looking at expanding into most tier 1, 2, and 3 cities because traditional flower consumption actually is quite high in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So that
Right.
would be really exciting. Some other cities we're kind of pursuing or looking at in the next few months are Coimbatore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. But we'll keep you updated when we launch there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the market for traditional flowers is huge. I mean, there's not a lot of organized data on it, but just to give you an idea, if you go to most of these local central flower markets where most of the flowers go from, the thing or bouquet flowers, we're kind of differentiating them based on the traditional flowers and the roses, carnations, all of them, which are the bouquet flowers. The bouquet flowers probably make up 10 to 15% by value of that entire market. So the rest of it comes from the traditional flowers. And we're so used to thinking of like bouquet flowers as like being this huge industry. But when you look at it and you're like, wow, that's so small compared to traditional flowers, like that's when it hits us like how big that industry is. And we see it in everyday lives. I think we just take it for granted. Like we see these flowers everywhere, and that's the biggest clue how big the market is.
Right, right. Let's go through the whole process, like how it happens from the demand till the supply side. Like, how are you matching both of these?
You an overall idea. I mean, you as a customer, you would be ordering from our website, which is bazaar.in. There are about 50 different subscription boxes, mainly because a lot of people have different kinds of flowers they want to use on different days, or the kind of god that they pray for, or their own preference. So let's say you go for a assorted flowers box, which is the most popular, where we send different kinds of flowers every day. So there's that surprise factor as well. So the assorted flowers box, daily delivery. And then within 24 hours, so the next day will be your first order. And in the meantime, on our back end, we get our flowers from our farmers every day in the morning, and that's we packages them, make sure that the quality is good. All of that is done in house, and we have an entire team of ladies that have been in the flower industry for really long. Were trying to do it on their own earlier, and now they've joined Rose Bazaar, so they're the experts in the flowers. So they do all the grading, packaging, everything. Then we in-house delivery fleet who starts delivering the flowers from 4 to 7 p.m. in the evening for customers who want it in the evening, and 4 to 7 a.m. in the morning for those that want it. Our flowers go in biodegradable plastic packages, so those actually keep the flowers fresh and also are, of course, better for the environment. So they customers in those, and they're very easy for the customers to keep in their own fridge. So if you don't want to use all the flowers today, you can always keep it in your fridge and it'll last for a few days as well. One thing that we always get from our customers is that our quality is much better than what they would usually find. Of course, because we find directly from the farmers. So because of that, we're able to keep the flowers in the fridge for a few days if required. So some of them go in a day delivery. So because the flowers last for 2 days and then we get.
Okay, so I was coming to the customer testimonials. So can you share some of what your customers are speaking about Rose Bazaar currently?
Yeah, sure. We can also share some after the interview with you, some of the screenshots that we have. But one of the things that we always get is about the quality, and because this is such a personal experience, right? Like you're using the flowers in your puja, which is how you start your day, and it's like a mindful time that you spend. So customers are always happy about that connect, and they're like, the flowers were so fresh that I felt really nice offering it to my God, or the flowers were so nice that like I like more flowers. Like the entire experience of decorating my puja room became so much more beautiful.
Another thing that we do is we have an assorted flowers box. So in that you would get kind of different flowers every day, and that's something that brings a lot of joy to people when you open the box and that day you get something a little bit different. It's kind of, like a happy surprise in the morning, and
Right.
we also do this thing where we send a shloka card. So we do that once a week, and for people that's a nice thing. And something that we didn't really expect is that people were saving the shloka cards, and they would be like, oh, I have all of them from the past weeks because I really enjoy it. And
Yeah.
if you're buying flowers on the street or something like that, there's so many headaches that come with the experience, whether the
Right.
quality is going to be good, whether the price is going to be higher that day, whether the person is going to show up at your doorstep, all of these different things. But
Right.
for us, our big motivational factor was, how do we make flowers a way of life? And those 5 minutes in the morning, just those 5 minutes, how can we make that a happy experience for you? So I
Right.
think that's what the customers also really connect with. And like once you're not thinking about all those headaches, you can really think about what you're doing and what you're offering to God. It's really special for us.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So this is a month of roses, and Valentine's Day is there, and so what's anything special from Rose Bazaar for all those who are celebrating this month of love?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, so we have a whole Valentine's Day collection. It's up on our website. We're also working with a lot of great partners, so you can add on, chocolates, you can add on vouchers. And our campaign for Valentine's Day is 100 ways to say I love you. So, there are so many ways that people say I love you every day, whether it's saying, why don't you take an umbrella? It might rain. Or, you know, are you falling sick? Like, can I, send you some hot tea or something? And so
Right.
we want to celebrate all of those ways of saying I love you, and that's what our campaign has been this year.
You can check out our campaign on Instagram. It highlight different ways each day, kind of counting down to Valentine's Day. And I mean, we've been getting a lot of engagement from our customers, so I feel like they're enjoying it quite a bit.
And I think to our whole thing of making flowers a way of life. It's the month of the rose and it's Valentine's Day. But I think what it's truly celebrating is that throughout the year that you're showing love to this person, and this day is just a way of highlighting that. That's a good one.
Okay, that's great. I think I have asked all the questions about Rose Bazaar. I know it perfectly, and I think when viewers see this, they will also know what Rose Bazaar is all about. Any specific ask from the viewers if you want to share something?
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook so you can learn more about our products and when we enter your city if you're not in Bangalore or Pune.
Sure.